Hello everyone and welcome! I am Eador and we are playing Eador Masters of the Broken World. Alright, so this is our second episode. And I think, yes, we're about to attack our first province and see our first tactical battle, so let's just go ahead. Alright, so the province of Berazar is defended by a local militia. So as you can see here, we have details of what exactly this is. We know that there are 6 enemies and we have militiamen, slingers and spearmen. So we could negotiate, which usually means paying them off, retreat or attack. So we should be able to take them on. Alright, and this is the tactical battle map. So as you can see, you have different type of terrains and each have a specific effect. So plains is the basic default one. You need one to move on one speed to move on a plain tile, and there's no bonus or penalties. Forest tiles, they cost 2 to move, and also, yes, they increase the range defense of any units that are in these tiles. The hill tiles cost 3 movement points to cross, but they also cost 1 stamina point to cross, but they give very good bonuses since you have an increased melee defense, counter-attack, and also your firing range is increased by 1, which is very important for our scout. And then you have a swamp, which is all negative. Your defense and counter-attack are decreased by 1, and you need to spend 4 movement points and 1 stamina point to move onto a swamp tile. No matter how many movement points you need, you can always move at least 1 tile during a turn. So our swordmen, they only have 1 speed, which is the main drawback of those units. But they can always move 1 tile even if it costs 2, 3 or 4 movement points to get to 1 tile. So here at the beginning we are in deployment mode. We can deploy our units wherever we want on this side of the map. So my usual deployments at the beginning, and actually for a long while, will be this. My 3 swordmen blocking the way and making a defense for my scout here. And as you can see, we have a free tile here. This is because when we level up our scout and he gets an extra command point, we will be able to hire a force unit, and we'll have a healer here to complete our squad. Alright, and here we are fighting against 4 militiamen, 1 spearman and 1 slinger. So the slinger is a range unit. The spearman is a melee unit with one range attack, so it's pretty powerful, but only 1 ammo. And the rest are weak melee units. So right now I have a range of 5, which means I cannot attack them on the first turn. But my scout has the heal knowledge ability, which means when you have the knowledge of a certain type of terrain, it means basically you can ignore the movement points penalty for a certain terrain, and you gain extra bonuses if you are on this terrain. So what I'm going to do here, since they are far away and even their range unit have a limited range, they won't be able to attack me in the first turn anyway. I'm able to move here, and it only costs me 1 because I have the heal knowledge. And now my range is 6, and unfortunately I still cannot attack them. Alright, that's not too much of a problem. So first turn we can do anything. But now I can attack them. So here you can see I'll do 4 to 6 damage to them. So basically the damage you can do is basically your attack against their defense, or your range attack against their range defense. So here the Spearman has a 2 range defense against my 7 range attack. And there's a random part to it, obviously. So I'll start attacking the Spearman. And I'm going to keep my guys here. Alright, and here comes the tactical part. Here. One of the things you can see here is the effect of having a different value for attack and counter-attack. Means you have to choose whether or not with your melee units you want to attack or let them attack you. And the thing is, there is an effect on their attack if you lower their hit points. It's actually not proportional to their hit points. I think as long as they have more than 50% hit points, they attack at full strength. And it only decreases really when they get very low in hit points. So usually if their counter attack is higher than their attack, it's mostly better to let them attack you. Especially if you yourself have a pretty good defense value. So here what I'm going to do is retreat with my scout. Retreat my Swordsman for getting a big line. And I'm going to continue attacking this Spearman here with my scout. So let's see, this slinger only has 4 rounds, so he still cannot attack my guys. This one though, he has only 2 range, so next turn he should be able... Oh no, not even. But let's finish him. And you can see, when you kill an enemy unit, any unit adjacent to it will lose 1 morale. That's the blue bar. The blue bar is morale, the yellow bar is stamina, and the red bar obviously is hit points. And as you can see, that's the good thing about having Swordsman. Those militia units have a basic attack of 4. And my Swordman have a defense of 3 plus 2 with parry for the first attack, which means they basically almost get no damage from an attack from militiamen. And same with they have a range defense base of 5, and this guy have an extra 2 because of the forest. So against range attack of 4 from the slinger, they basically don't take any damage. fight. And that's our first battle. So we looted the 27 gold from them. And we leveled up. Okay, so we got an extra magic, which won't be useful right away because we don't have any spells so far. So now we need to choose an ability. As you can see, there's 5 levels for each abilities. One thing to note is that you don't have access to all 5 levels at the start. Your base class, here it's Scout, only gets you to level 10. And so each class have access to their own ability tree. But you only have access to the first 3 levels of each abilities. And then when you get to level 10, you have to choose a specialization. And it's basically one of 4 specialization. And 4 specialization for 4 classes. You can either keep specializing in your base class. So here a scout will go into being a sniper, for example. Which means you will still have access to the exact same ability trees, abilities. But you will have access to the full 5 level of them. Or you can choose a specialization that crosses over with the other classes, which means you will still have access to your own abilities, but still only to level 3, but you will also have access to the abilities of the other class you've chosen, also up to level 3. Okay, so here we have the choice of leveling our looting ability to level 2, which we really don't care about. Or we can choose the scouting ability, which is fairly useful, but not a priority at the start. Or we can get the archery ability, which gives us the precise shot ability and increases our ammo counts every level. So we're going to choose that one. So now we have 9 ammo and the... which one is it? Yeah, here the precise shot ability is very useful, and not so much at the beginning of the game, but later on. It basically allows you to ignore 1 point of the enemy's ranged defense for every point you have in this ability. So right now I can ignore 1 point of defense on any enemy. So at the start of the game, most of enemy won't have much defense, but later on it will be very useful against heavy armored units. Right, and here we have our new province, Berazar. So the people are discontent, which means the unrest is going to grow very slowly. We'll have an uprising in 82 turns. But the people's mood is going to get better over time, slowly. But it will also depend. You can have random events regularly, where you have to make decisions that can affect the mood. And you can also build provincial buildings to increase the mood, or recruit a guard. That might have some effects also. So right now, there are quite a few locations here. So a dark cave, just a location where you have creatures and loot. An arena, so here you can participate to tournament and bet. It's basically you can get into a fight and get some reward, or you can bet on a fight. What else we have? Mechora and Abandoned Temple, still the same. Where you can defeat enemy against experience and loot. But all of these, Battle Mages, Inquisitors, Winged Creatures, are probably way too high level for us to tackle right now. There's not much we can do so far. And let's see. So we have a few units a little bit injured, but not too much. Units, when you don't have a healer, your basic unit will restore 1 hit point per turn. Your hero though will heal faster than that usually. And so now, as you can see, we have access to 4 level 1 spells. Okay. So now we need to plan our next building. So as I said, as my first unit, I want to recruit a healer. So here, it's a unit that can heal, basically, and they can fight also, but they're very weak, so you really don't want them to fight. So in order to build the Brotherhood of Light, I need to first build an altar. And it's so the altar in itself, yeah, I don't really care about it. Let's see. So one of the things here that I haven't shown you, it's very confusing the first time you see it. That's basically all the buildings you will have access to. So here you have all your troops buildings. So here you have the first tier of those. As you can see here, 1 out of 4. You can only build 4 tier 1 unit recruitment buildings. You can only build 3 tier 2, 2 tier 3 and 1 tier 4. So you have to make choices. In the same way for magical buildings, you can only build 4 first level schools, magical schools, and 3 second level, 2 third level, and 1 fourth level. So you have to specialize. So all the buildings with a little plus are the buildings that you can build right now. And if you have, I don't think we have any right now, but buildings with a little cross, red cross, are buildings that you could build right now, but you don't have the resources to build them. So as I said, I want to build the Brotherhood of Light, which means, so here you have something very useful. As you can see, when you select a building, other buildings will get colored. So red are the buildings that you need to build as a prerequisite and that you haven't built yet. And blue are the buildings you will be able to build because of this one. Basically, they have this building as one of their prerequisites. And in green will be the buildings that are prerequisite to this one that you have already built. So the altar, if I build it, this one will turn from red to green. I think I'm actually going to start to build a library. No, I'll go with the altar just to be ready for when I level up once more. So as you can see, all the red cross are... Now I cannot build them because I... So yes, one of the things, you can only build obviously 1 building per turn in your capital. And also another thing is that you can only build 1 building per turn for all of your provinces. So it's not 1 building per turn per province, it's 1 for all the provinces. Alright, and so we can now see some of our second ring province. So unfortunately we have a desert here. So yeah, it's wasteland. I don't think there can be any population growth on those. So here another hill, and those are plains, right? Yeah. So with a free settlement, that's pretty good. And here we have a resource. They have horses here. That's pretty good. We won't be able to conquer it just right now, since it's a second run province. It's going to be a lot better defended. So for now, let's go to conquer another province. So we went from -10 income to -4 thanks to the 16 income of this one. And so here we should begin to get into positive income when we conquer Grey Cliff. Alright, so we basically have the same defense here. Alright, so let's start right away. Okay, even if I move I won't be able to attack them, so I don't have access to any spells. So let's just end our turn. So it's basically going to be very simple type of fighting with this setup. Basically we are going to wait for them to come at us and pepper them with our scout. And well, the higher level... Oh, I didn't realize that was a scout. I should have focused him first. Alright, so let's go back here. And here is actually an impassable tile, so we can actually have all our swordmen on hills, so they'll all have a defense bonus. So one of the things also about experience, every time you fight all of your troops and your hero gets experience, but there is a mechanic to get more experience the more each unit participates in a fight. I'm not sure exactly of the details of how it works. I'm not sure if it's the number of damage you do, or for the healer if the number of time you heal, or the number of hit points you heal will help, or if it's just the killing shot that counts. Frankly, I'm not exactly sure. But there is some kind of participative bonus to experience. Oh, and here you can see I only had one move here. That's because my my stamina is very low, and you can see my range attack is is now only 4. Unfortunately, they don't give the detail of the different things affecting your attack, but my base attack is 7, but now I only have 4 because of my stamina. And here, same thing, the Slinger's range attack is only 1. And now he has 0 stamina, which means he won't be able to do anything next turn. See, he didn't do anything. Alright. Okay, so for each time we level up, our units, we have a choice between 2 abilities. So, well, not abilities, but bonuses. They can be either a stat improvement, like here, or they can also be extra abilities. So here I have a choice between morale and ranged defense. And since I'm using my swordman as defender, I'll usually always try to increase their survivability. Alright, and that's our second province. So 5 gold, 1 gem, explore to 39%, discontent also. So that one is a village. They are both villages. They are actually have more population than my capital province. Oh, and here we have an iron province on the second ring. So we actually have a pretty nice start here with both horse and iron province easily accessible. That's pretty good. And we are now positive in income. And so we're up to a very nice start. And so I'm going to stop here, and we will continue in our next episode. Thank you for watching, and see you later. Bye.